Good afternoon, it's me, Skinglo Nafro. I just wanted to come back on here quickly and to do just a quick little Skinglo Nafro chat to everybody out there who is having, a few difficulties. Here is what I think about these situations. Now, as you know, once you've left your 20s and you hit your 30s and 40s, people automatically assume that you are going to have everything sorted out. Your life is going to be perfect. You're going to have the good degree. You're going to have the degree that you want to have. You're going to have your house. You're going to have your husband or wife. You're going to have your children or whatever. But sometimes things do not work out that way. I have spoken about this before on my channel, but I do believe that the time is right to speak about it again, because I've been noticing some bullshit that's going around, the same bullshit that goes around year after year after year, that, oh, by the time you hit 25, you should be earning a decent wage, you should be living in a house you want to live in, you should be settling down. Then when these things don't happen, people judge you to the point where you actually end up... So I've noticed some people, they end up depressed because they have everybody in their ears saying, you should have this, you should have this, you should have this. And then when you don't have any of that stuff, those judgments, they really do plague on you and they bring you down. And all that negative energy that is surrounding you, it's not good, and they don't care. They don't give a shit about how you feel, as long as they feel good for bringing you down in the first place. Because you're supposed to have all these things, but who told them that you're supposed to have all these things? Who told them all of these kind of things? I want to know, why is it that we are supposed to be so-called leaders in this world, but yet we are so quick to follow on to what other people say we should have, instead of just embracing the small things that we have to be able to build a foundation so that we can build on top of that and then create ourselves what we want. And going back to what I was saying, when you're in your 30s and 40s, like me, I'm 31 now, when you hit these kind of ages, 30s, 40s, and you still have not gotten to where you are, and then you have other people who are bringing you down, it really does affect you. Like, the thing is, when you're in your 20s, you are about building yourself. But this is the thing, nobody ever says that to build yourself, you actually have to have several knockbacks at the same time. Now, nobody wants to have a knockback, but what I mean is, you cannot just go forward and have all this success without having some knockbacks at the same time, because it happens to literally everybody. Yeah, there's always going to be a point in time where something hasn't gone right that you want it to, but then there is always going to be another path that you're going to follow, because, okay, the original plan you had for yourself didn't work out, but there's always going to be, another. But then, because some people see that you put so much into plan A, when they see you going on to follow plan B, that's when they start their whispering, that's when they start their nonsense, that's when they start saying, hey, why is he or she doing all of this? Like, why are you not following plan A anymore? Like, did they not hear you? Did they not actually hear you say that obviously that's not working out? But no, they just want to run your mouth. They just want to run their mouths. They just want to bring you down, and it's not the easiest thing. Lots of things can happen when you're in your 30s and 40s that you didn't expect, that you didn't ever anticipate to happen. When you was in your 20s, that time of your life when you felt invincible, that you could just achieve anything. And then once you've left university, or like in my case, I've been to university twice before now, and it didn't work out then. But now I've gotten through these 3 years of a brand new course, and I realised I'm now in the place of my life where actually I'm in the right place at the right time, and it was good. However, I feel if I hadn't had those two knockbacks before, then I wouldn't have been able to prepare myself and be ready and stable to be able to get through to uni now. And that's a good thing. And don't get me wrong, it's not been easy. I had to accept help for my dyslexia. I had to, open my mouth and say, what, I'm struggling. And in my second and third years of uni, I started going to tutorials to, you know, to actually get what I needed to get, you know, help. Asking for help is not the easiest thing at all. It's really not the easiest thing at all. But sometimes we need to learn, you know what? We can't always do things by ourselves. Sometimes we need someone else or several other people there to boost our self-esteem, because sometimes as hard as we try, we just can't seem to get out of that phase. It's like you got a dark cloud over your head and you can't seem to break through to see the sunshine. And I know it sounds cliche, but I can say that for myself. If I'm being quite honest, I can say that for myself. It took a while before I saw the sunshine. And now that I see, I'm trying to help other people see it as well. It takes a long time, but once you see it, you're like, okay, that makes a lot of sense now. But I've only just now that I'm in my 30s, actually feel comfortable with who I am, being able to speak out, being able to ask for help when I need it, when it's necessary. However, if I feel that I'm confident enough to be able to do things by myself, then I will do. I try to use my intuition as much as possible, but sometimes you do need that added support. And also, going back to being in your 30s and 40s, not everything is going to work out as you want it to work out. So many things can happen. Your mental health can suffer from sometimes just out of nowhere, because you've been dealing with all this stuff and you've been internalizing it, and you've not necessarily been asking for help. Or if you have been asking for help, sometimes it's just, you know, it's just not clicking, and your mental health will still suffer. And there's nothing wrong with people being open and honest and admitting that. And some people in their 30s and 40s, even in their 20s, can become homeless because situations haven't worked out how they wanted it to work out, you know. And we're always so quick to judge people who are homeless. And I'm like, it can happen to any one of us. Like, I know within my course, Social Care and Health Studies, a couple of the lecturers have literally said everybody is just one paycheck away from becoming homeless, as in you've not been able to afford to pay your mortgage, you've not been able to pay your rent, and then that's it. Your landlord or whatever has decided to just throw you out. Or sometimes you're homeless simply because you was in student accommodation and you're not in work yet. So once your course is over, that's it. You can go back home, or some people don't have a home to go back to. So then they end up becoming homeless, because not everybody has, you have to remember, not everybody has parents in this country. But a lot of the time, because how expensive it is to go to university, some of them can't even afford to go back home. So it's very easy to become homeless. It's very easy to become unseen. It's very easy for people to notice that you are homeless, but they don't give a shit because they don't know your story. And when did we start becoming held hostage to society's expectations of what you were supposed to do, what you were supposed to achieve? You're supposed to be this person who makes so much money, and you can do all of this kind of stuff. And it's funny because these people who say these kind of things, some of them are the most messed up out of all of us. If we're keeping it quite honest, some of you are just messed up as hell. You chat shit about everybody else, and I'm just like, if you are so secure within yourself and you're making all this money, you would not have the time to fix your mouth to talk down on other people, but instead you want to be there with your chatty patty selves chatting foolishness because you don't have nothing conductive to do, really. Because if you really valued yourself and everything that you say you're doing, you won't have time to be chatting down about other people. But that's all you seem to be doing, especially with the explosion of social media since the early 2000s. This is what people do now. They use it as a means to run people down. I mean, before, people used to do it in their houses and you would never hear it. But now, because of social media, it's all over WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's all you spend your lives doing, and it's fucking tiresome. and you need to get a grip. Okay, earn your 40 grand a year or whatever, earn your 30 grand a year, and shut the fuck up, please. So to everybody out there who is struggling, please let me know down below in the comments. I am here to listen to anybody. If you need any advice, if you need any support, I'm also going to put a link down below to Citizens Advice. This is for people here in the UK who are homeless at the moment. I will put a link down below to that. So yes, please let me know. I will try to support you as much as I can, okay? Or at least put you in the right direction, okay? Stay blessed.